Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets webinar with Bruce. We're going to go through the live order flow in the markets here, analyzing the order flow with Bookmap, looking for possible opportunities or understanding of the players' behavior in the order flow to give us insight to those possibilities or more highly probable moves, and we will look for those moves to unfold. All right, general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only. Unfold and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's take a look in here, and we'll start off with, this is for all markets, so let me know what you're interested in, and we can go through it. Good morning, Alois, and let's see others over in Discord as well. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. Excellent. Thanks, Stan. Stan, yeah, great content. We'll have you as a coach next time. Looking forward to that for the Bookmap Academy meeting that we had yesterday. So yeah, actually, well, let's look at the live analysis in here. You know, we just had some data, so you can see the data release here in the order flow that we always see this pulling of liquidity. And see who stays in the order book and has conviction. And you can see some in here, and that's exactly where price went. Went through a little bit. They kind of pulled down here a little bit, but kind of stayed as well. Not too much conviction though, but we did get a bounce back up right to where it dropped from, and then we're right back down. A wall of liquidity here at 74 in the S&P E-mini. Anyway, that's what we see here at the moment. Let's check out this move into this high liquidity here. All right, some filled there, some pulled here, and a bit of a stop run there. Okay, this is the red line here are stops. Blue line is iceberg transactions, stop transactions. This is fact. This is the MBO data that we can get from the CME. Morning, Elia, Katie, and Michael. All right. So a bit of a bounce out of this, but still looking for continuation here until we see something different. Right? Wall of liquidity or not, it is the context that we need to understand. So if there's okay, so let's just make it simple here. For every buyer, there must be a seller, and vice versa. So when we see price move, what that signifies in here is that there are more aggressive sellers in this example than there are passive buyers. Okay, so the sellers were able to hit into this liquidity here. Okay, these are the buyers in here, right? And now we can see that we traded into actually the 74 level here, and that was as far as it went. And then we do see that there were actually more buyers here than sellers. If there were more sellers, they would chew through all of these buyers in here. Okay? It is the aggressor that moves price. And how do they do that? Well, very simply, if you have more aggressive market buy orders here, it will take all of the liquidity. And why it's called aggressive is because it crosses the spread. You want in immediately. So you're just saying, I want to trade. I want to be in this market. I am a buyer. I don't really care what price I get. Almost, you're almost saying that. Like, of course you do. You're looking at the best offer. But what if the spread widens out? Well, if the spread was up here at 77 and a quarter, even though the last transaction was down here at 75 and a quarter, you're going to get filled up here. Okay, so that's how the market works. right? So where is their liquidity? If the aggressors here can chew through all of that liquidity, they will lift price one tick. That's how it works. So in this case, yeah, you can see buyers come streaming in right now, right? So this is being absorbed down here. And this is the context we want to understand, right? So we were staying with the trend until we see something else. We don't know how much supply is in here, how many sellers are in here willing to transact into this high liquidity here, right? Well, here in the short term, at least, we've got our answer. We know that there were not enough sellers in here. So how can we use that information to understand or look for a potential move? Is to start to understand this context in here. Okay, so how do we know though? When does this happen? Well, we look for the buyers to start to come in on the other side. Okay, and we look for this context up in here. And actually, there's really not too much to see in here until we get up here. This would be a breakout trade basically of this very small range. You can see the buyers coming in here. They traded into and through this high liquidity here on the offer. So this means that there are more aggressive buyers than there are limit sell orders or passive sellers. So the market moves higher. Right? So anyway, we'll see like it's short-lived, as you guys can see, and we're looking for another kind of re-attack here. Looks like there's a lot of sellers here. Okay, sellers, then take these guys on. We're looking for the move into 74. There we go. And then now I'm very curious to see what happens here. So I'm still looking for sellers to take on these, the aggressive sellers to take on these buyers here at 74. Okay, we're going to see though, right? So now how can you start to look at this in terms of a potential plan or risk management in here, right? Well, where did the sellers come in? Up in here, right? This is where the buyers really came in, as we identified earlier, that we do see some buying that came in here, but we don't really know how much buying is in there at that point. Okay, but we do know there's this many sellers from this move on down. Right, so I'm looking for the continuation until we see something different, that difference happened for us on the short term time frame right here, right? And it didn't go much higher. So I know that there's more supply then. I know that there's more selling interest in here. So I am looking for them not only to trade into this high liquidity, I want to see if they can trade through it. Okay, so how can you use that in a trading plan? All right, now this is a very, very simple trading plan, and it's not a trade recommendation nor a trading plan recommendation whatsoever. But when you start to understand these moves in here, you're looking for the follow through. Okay, now it did follow through into here, and that's it. This is an interesting move. Like this would be the target basically to take some off and manage your trade. Maybe you got in here. Like if you're seeing that this is where these buyers came in up here. Let's clear the drawings for a minute. Okay, if you see this is where the buyers came in up in here, right? I'm looking to see if we get sellers down below that area and enough sellers, and I really don't see them until about here. But I'm at this point here. I know that they're selling interest. I am looking for the retest to here, minimum. And we got it. Okay. Now it's some back and forth in here. Now look where the retest came back here as well. Rob, I'm going to get into some of the details here for you. I think you're in here, right? Please, I know you weren't feeling too well this morning, so let me know if you're in here, because I want to go through the impulse move with you. All right. So anyway, so we're looking for that move into here, right? Take some risk off. We don't know. We're not getting clarity in here. It looks like, to me, to be honest, like I'm looking for sellers in here to drive it lower. They traded all this liquidity, all these limit buy orders. There's no more left, and I'm seeing more selling in here. Well, that's kind of odd. Well, sellers should be able to take it lower at that point. Well, they didn't. Okay, we see the buying interest come in and move that market away. We get one more retest down here, and where are the sellers? We don't see them again. Okay, where do we see the buyers? Here. Above this little area here that we're looking for sellers earlier. Note these pivot areas in here, guys. You will see this again and again and again. This context in here can lead to all sorts of potential trading plans in here, okay, that you can look at. And you can see this is a high probability. Once you see the buyers get in back above this area in here, this means that these are all trapped sellers. Here's our stop run to verify that in here. If our assumption is that these are sellers that are trapped, this is where they're going to be buyers, and we have a big stop run. So then maybe that assumption is correct. Right now, it's not all sellers getting stopped out here, but there's a lot. There's a stop run in here. Know that. Okay. Look again here at where the buyers came in. They came in here, and they came in here. Right. This pivot area here is still where price is pivoting between buyers and sellers. Sellers below it, buyers above it. Okay. Now there's kind of a new one in up here at 77.5. Right. And sellers remain in control so far of this little area here. So I'm looking again for sellers to come in and test the bottom of this range, and I'm looking for them to still trade down to 74 here. I'm looking for them to show they have more supply here. Okay, and we're reading the context in here. Well, they didn't show up here. Looking for them again. Now we're reading again the context in here. Look at how they're starting to bid up a little bit in here. All right, what about on the offer? Are they offering more at a lower level? A little bit in here, not much. All right, so we're just kind of stuck in between two areas of high liquidity up here at 77.5 and 74. Okay, so let's see if we get a bit more selling in here. And I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it. And this is the selling we're relying on for being in control in this small move. It's not a lot to rely on here. Right, so if we get buyers that come in and we get back up into here, I would be looking to buy and take it back up to the top of the range here at 80. Okay. Come on, sellers looking for it. Okay, and just looking for the push into 74. All right, anyway, guys, so that's the immediate order flow, and on a very small time frame, we're reading this here and just going through some of the details in the order flow. Okay, so let's see if we can get even more supply down here. Now, this is a big question about more supply down here. Look at our profile in here. Okay, so all our profile is telling us is where people transacted. And we can see that there's a big ledge in here, right? And also my session profile in here. So the majority of trading took place here around 74 and above, even a little bit higher, 74.5 and above. Right, so what does that mean? It means we have to find a tremendous amount of selling in here to drive it away from this value area here. And can they do that? That's what we're looking for here. Okay, so we do see, and we're leaning on the sellers here. How many? Where are they? It's not a whole lot, to be honest. I mean, we do have this selling in here. We have this selling in here and this in here, but there's buyers over here, there's buyers over here, and it's back and forth. I do see again, like our test here into 74. Here we go. Now we're going to get our answer. Okay, there we go. So now how much supply do they still have? Okay, well, not much, right? Okay, so this is, so far, this is a false breakdown. All right, so now we're looking for buyers again back up maybe right here at 75. There they come. All right, looking for them to lift it right back up to 77.25 now. And then maybe we can get a bigger move into 80. Look at the volume trading here. Okay, so this is a false breakdown, looking for the other side of the range, and they're pulling some of that liquidity up here. So there wasn't much supply. There's actually more demand now coming in. Okay, this would be where I would take some off up here at the top of the range, because I know that there's a lot of transactions in here. So just up to the top of the range is what I'm looking for. And then hold, stop to break even, and hold looking for 80 or above. Okay, so just going through some scenarios in here to consider for your trading plan. Now, for example, let's clear all our drawings for just a second, right? So we covered the breakdown, the move into 74, the false breakdown here, reading that supply and that demand, and looking for the move to the other side of the range and potentially 80. After this breakdown here told us something, this false breakdown. All right, and then it's up to risk management at that point. Right, so anyway, this is something that Slowdown has been looking at for quite a while, and he's looking for these false breakouts and breakdowns, and then looking for the sellers to come in on the other side and move that market back down. Okay, this almost looks picture perfect. So Slowdown, would love to get your insight. This is, I imagine you're in this. And maybe you're in on NASDAQ. I know you've been trading NASDAQ a lot lately. All right, so let's see here. Good morning, trading for a living. All right, let's, anyway, guys, lots of considerations in here in reading just the order flow. Let's take a bigger step back. We haven't looked at the bigger picture. Let's do that. Here we go. We have the daily over on the right, left-hand side, the hourly here in the middle, and the 15-minute on the right. What is the daily telling us? Well, we can see this kind of poke below the entire week here. This is the entire week of price action. The poke below, and then we see the buying coming back in. So this too here is a false breakdown. Okay, after a big down day yesterday, which actually closed below the previous days of the week. That's a bearish sign, right? But look at how that's a trap in here. Now let's take a look at the hourly. You can see it clearer here. You can see the move below all of these hours here. Here's our gap, our island gap, as you can see, and then one more move down here. It never even came into the gap area. It just went below this swing here. That's the false breakdown part, and then the move back up. And look at the gap up through here. Here it is on the 15-minute chart. So we're just reading that retest at 74 here. This is the bigger picture now. Okay, so we need to kind of step back and look at the bigger picture. But we were just going through the order flow to understand these order flow elements and why we might think it might trade into certain areas in here, just based off of what we are reading on this small time frame here. All right. Where we go from here? Well, we'll take a look here. We might get a retest back down here, and we might get a gap fill down to about this 65 level here, 43.65. I see buying starting to come in. We have already a few tests in these areas. You can see a couple candles in here, but this is our third test. Okay, and it actually is kind of bearish in here in that sense. We see the third wick in here, and it actually went below the swing here. We need to see a tremendous amount of buying starting to come in if we're going to reach back up to the highs here at 35, at 85. Okay, so we'll look for that context, or where we might retest and see exhaustion by the buyers, or maybe really high absorption by the sellers up in these areas here. Okay, the 15-minute chart, see how we're just not getting much data. We'd have to break down the candlestick chart, but even then, we're not going to get too much information in here. So let's start to read that here. All right, so all we have done now, and this is exactly what we want to understand by looking at Bookmap, the 15-minute candle, we don't see these swings in here. Okay, all we have done is traded from here on up to 80. And that was what we were looking for to unfold after this false breakdown. Okay, so there we go. And let's see now, what about the buying up here? We're looking for a tremendous amount of buying, right? To try to make it back up to the swings here, maybe 85, maybe 89, etc. The next one is actually up here at around 81.5 or 81.75. All right, tough read in here. Buyers here, some sellers here. I don't know. So I was looking for just this test to this liquidity and the other side of the range, or this swing high here. That was it. Okay. Now next position here. Okay. Well, looking, waiting, watching. High liquidity coming in, a block of it again. So we know that there's a lot of demand down here, and they did get filled earlier. So it seems like this is real liquidity in here, but we don't really know until we get down here, see if it transacts. All right, high liquidity again coming in at 80 here. All right. All right, so let's see if we can get more supply coming in right now. Actually, would love to see that little trend line break here. But yeah, it's a hard read right now. I just kind of staying away from it right now. Stephen, were you in the meeting last night? We had a Bookmap Academy meeting. It's on YouTube, recorded on YouTube. I actually need to edit some of the blank spaces in there we had due to some technical issues. But anyway, I want to show you guys where that is, and watch the recording if you want. It's a coaching session. The Bookmap Academy is a big part of it here, is to offer coaching and mentoring. So here comes our supply actually. Yeah, so it looks like we've got a nice little battle shaping up here. I'm actually looking to see if we can trade into this again here. Look at the selling coming in. So there's still selling pressure, right? I'm looking for these sellers here to reach these buyers here. Let's see. All right, yeah, this is what I wanted to show. Sorry about that, guys. I just kind of distracted in here for a few things. Here's the meeting here, our live coaching session. So you can watch it in here. We open the mic and we go through and give feedback on your content. That is the goal. So first off, the goal in here is to offer you this pathway to becoming a better trader via the Bookmap Academy. And if you're interested in that, let me show you where it is. It's on the Academy page here. And yeah, just scroll down. You can read about it here. How do you join? What do you get? Etc. And down here is where you register. And then you have FAQs as well. Right? It's free. It's open to all. You have to have Bookmap as part of this. You have to make the content on Bookmap. read the order flow just like what we were just doing, and that will help your trading. Okay, so here are sellers, should get a nice move into all this liquidity here. There's just more sellers interested in trading. There we go. There's the move, and it's through it. All right, great. That's what we were looking for. Now, this is heavy selling. It's also a heavy stop run. And we can look at a few different things in here. This was from almost 74.5 on down to 71 or 70 right now. That's like a 4-point move. All right, 4 points is, and with heavy selling, this is an impulse move. It's tearing away from all of this price action here. Right now, a lot of it was a stop run too, so we are looking for a pullback now. Okay, but what we want to understand at the moment is this impulse move. How many sellers are in here? And I'm going to go through this, and Rob, I hope you're in here now, because I want to go through this new tool that we have and showcased yesterday, or demoed yesterday. We'll also look at Market Pulse. In this move in here, strong, consistent selling, moving that market away from this previous value area. Not bad, but I do see a bit of buying in here. It doesn't seem so strong and consistent. So it could be better, right? But it's not bad. It's also 4 points. That's good. Almost 5 points. That's good. We're looking for more. If this is the pullback, then right now here, we're looking for more sellers again to continue this move lower. Now, the problem here in reading this move is we want to look for that strong, consistent selling all the way through. We didn't get that. Down here, it's not so clear, right? So maybe we're just going to chop between 75 and 70 here for a bit before we can find those sellers, right? So we're going to keep an eye out for those sellers, and maybe they can move it. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not too sure about it here. I don't see that strong, consistent selling and then just a pullback and then followed by strong, consistent selling. I don't see it yet. All right, so I'm going to wait until I have more clarity. I see them starting to hit here, the bid, but again, look at the dots in here compared to here. Right, so maybe we're just going to chop around in here. So this is how you can filter out via the order flow some of these events in here. You're looking at a possible setup and it's not working out. Right, this is what I want to show in a new add-on that we have. And it is very much in beta or even alpha here, but it's very simple. So it's this Bookmap checklist or setups checklist, and you can go through here and grade your setup. You're looking for something specific, identifying. This is for the flag pattern from our knowledge base or learning center. So let me actually show you where that is, so you guys know. For that flag pattern, and you can use this this tool here for your setup. So go to the More button, go to the Learning Center, and then we have a new strategies and setups course in here. There's just one course or one pattern at the moment, and it's a continuation pattern. You can stop your trading career here if you get really good at continuation patterns. It's one of the best, in my opinion. So identifying continuation is one of the easiest ways to make money here by looking for momentum moves and jumping on that train and riding out the momentum move. Anyway, we go through a checklist in here in this one, this video here, the third one on flag pattern execution. We start with flag pattern in diagram form, then the flag pattern in noticing it in Bookmap. Okay, the same elements here in diagram, strong impulse move, strong volume, etc. And then seeing it in Bookmap and then executing it, looking at the checklist in here. Now, we've taken that checklist and put it here. Okay, so in fact, it's actually, this should be the one that, no, sorry, not that one. this one. Yeah. I just made it a little bit simpler here. So anyway, do you see these things in here? Well, you check them off if you see them. So identify trap traders and develop scenarios on where price might go, and then looking for that impulse move, looking for a pullback, etc. Okay, so here's our impulse move, and we read that impulse move. Let's just go through the process. We'll skip the trap traders here, but that is an important part of it. So steep, large price movement, strong relative volume. Do we see that in this move? Well, we identified there's a stop run in there. We identified that it's about 5 points. That's good, but there's this kind of little hiccup in here. And then look at the strong relative buy volume in here. It's actually 2 moves, and we don't see that strong relative sell volume in here. Sorry, sell volume, seller aggressive volume in here. And we don't really see it. And it hit this area of liquidity, and we bounce, and we've been chopping around in that area since. And that is what we were actually anticipating to happen, because we read this strong move here, or we analyzed this strong move in here, and it's not exactly what we're looking for. Okay, it's not bad, but it's not great either. So maybe we need to chop around, and then we need to find more sellers in here if we're going to get that continuation, and maybe we'll get them right now, right? Not seeing them here. Here we go. Let's see sellers, if you can move it at this point. Nope. Right, we just trade into here and we get a little bit of a bounce. Let's see if we can come back, though. We just went to the top of this little range. Now again, like, what are we leaning on in here? Well, we're leaning on this move in here, and then continuation. Okay, and I'm not really seeing this as really strong sell volume. So I'm staying away. Right, so this is how this checklist can help you here with your trading. All right, so I made one for Rob in particular, because Rob was starting to what time frames are flagged most consistent? They happen, Dave, on all time frames. It's really about the order flow within it, in my opinion, that we want to understand. All right, so like this one here, like I like seeing this up here actually, and because what it means is, like, this is the move and the chop back and forth. This is the failure above here and the trap volume. Okay, identify trap volume. Now this is a very small time frame though, right? So it's not a flag pattern, but we can go through the same ideas in here and look at the identifying the trap volume. So this move makes sense to me, and it's on a very small time frame though. Okay, here's our pullback. Okay, now again, reading this move in here, it's a stop run as well, and it's not very many points in here. So am I looking for a continuation? Well, I do like that it is strong and consistent at least. Could be much stronger, but at least there's some consistency to it. Okay, so that's good. Let's see if we can get more trapped buyers in here, or are these guys going to be trapped sellers, and then they get squeezed to the upside here. Okay, so let's see if we can get more sellers in here again. Yeah, they're starting to show. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing really powerful in here to give us insight at the moment. Anyway, what I put together here for Rob was you can import your own setups, and it's just a CSV file, and then I have this tab in here that I made for Rob, and this is for identifying just the impulse moves. Okay, so let's deselect them all and look at these impulse moves and start to grade them and start to understand exactly what we're looking for. Large price movement. Okay, so here, how good was that? That was actually pretty good. I would give it a check here, and I would put it up around 8 or 9. Okay, because it's 5 points. That's good. That's what we want to see it pull away from here. Now, how's another way to measure that or understand this move in here? It's relative, right? So let's take a look at it. We can look at measured moves. Okay, and that's also on the checklist in here. All right, so here's our consolidation period. And then here's our measured move in here. It should be equal to that, right? Something like that, or at least 50% of it. And then let's just take this and now move it down below. All right. So it didn't make it. It went over 50% and back up. So, but we know 5 points in the S&P just from experience. We know that's pretty good, tearing away from an area. And then so we do have that going for us. Wasn't quite a measured move. Hi, Alan. Welcome to the room here. So we do have it's not quite a measured move in here. In fact, so the measured move away from consolidation. So we do have it, but I don't know. Maybe give it a 5 or a 6. Something like that. Maybe a 7. So that's what we got. All right. And then let's take a look here again at this strong move in here to the downside. We're grading these impulse moves. Steep angle, yes, we absolutely got that. Okay, that's good. In fact, we can probably even give that a 10. Is it strong relative volume all the way through, or I have consistent volume here, so we'll just is it strong volume? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. There's some buying in here like we noted, so maybe like a 7 or an 8 in here. Is it consistent? No, right? Not all the way through, right? So I'll give this like a 6, maybe a 7. The measured move, no, we know that, maybe a 6 on that. The target, high liquidity, yeah, well, it made it down to the high liquidity here. Okay, this is what we're talking about. This liquidity here, did price come down to it? Yeah, it did, and that's what we'd be looking for. And look at the selling down here, though. That's not what we're looking for. That's bad. So that consistent volume, I'm actually going to take it down one more and make it a 6. And then let's look at the target high liquidity. Yeah, that's pretty good. I give that like an 8. Could be better, but it's not bad. Let's study the small moves within the impulse move. And then we'll look for the pullbacks in here. All right, so we need to zoom in here. All right, and understand here. All right, so here's our move. This is an added confluence in here, and we're getting a lot of insight from that added confluence, the stop run. Okay, because a stop run is an interesting thing in here. Does that mean it's new selling entering the market? No. It means that people are exiting the market. They were buying, or they were buyers, and now they're not. Now they're out of the market. Okay, they sold to exit. And we're assuming that that is the stop run in here. This is pretty picture perfect for a stop run. You see the book sweep here, and we do know that there's stops triggered in here. So this is indicative of it. We have the MBO bundle indicator for on chart as well. We can take a look at in here. Guys, is this helping? Get some feedback in here. Like this is very different education than we have covered in the past. Wow, this is a beautiful stop run. Look at that. Right? It started up here and nothing but stops all the way triggered down. We don't know where all the stops are. They could be throughout this whole move in here, but we know that they started to trigger and cascade at least throughout this whole move in here. This is one big move right here, and then it is updated later. We know that that's one big move, an order book sweep, because look at when the best bid and offer update afterwards. Okay, so this move unfolded, stops are triggered along the way. then we have a bid and offer update. This is correct data. It looks like it's incorrect, but it is correct, right? Yeah, we really like rhythmic data, high quality. All right, so we're again going through this process and measuring or reading this move in here, this impulse move, and trying to gain some insight from it. All right, so it's kind of convoluted in here, right? That strong, consistent move, it really doesn't follow through. It's really the stop run. Okay, but just because it's a stop run doesn't mean that we're going to get price come back up above here and find all sorts of buyers. Doesn't mean that at all. We want to see if it accepts lower and we find more sellers engaged to take it lower at this point. And we know that the move is strong, right? That's for sure. It could have been stronger, but it's strong. We've got 5 points out of it. So the pullbacks in here. So it's like I said, it's kind of convoluted because we got the stop run and then we do see buyers actually come in back up above it. And these are icebergs in here as well. But they fail to take it higher, right? We don't get this stop run and then right back up into where it started from or back up above. Okay, so we would assume that we will likely get a retest up to here. Now, after this move has come back down in here, right? Well, after the stop run, we would look for a move right back up into here. Okay, so anyway, it's these little areas, these little nooks in here after these strong moves. We actually have 2 stop runs, one here for 302 and one here for 633. This is where we can start to look for pullbacks on those strong moves. Okay, so that's in the checklist here as well. Okay, study the small moves within the impulse move. Okay, did we do that? Yep. Did we find some good things? Yeah, we did. Let's give it a 9, 8 or 9. Study, yeah, I can go with an 8 or we can go with a 9 because of that stop run gave us a lot of insight there. And then study the pullbacks after it. Yep, same thing in here, right? Now, basically for your setup, you're looking for an 8 or better. Now this is a little different here. This is for Rob setup just to understand strong moves. So we're not using this actually for grading a setup. We're just grading the impulse move, right? We have it set up for the flag, like I said here from the Learning Center. If you go through these videos, this is your checklist in here. In fact, we also have the checklist here. If you go to flag resources and then click on this, you can get that checklist here as well, right? So a couple different ways you can get it. Anyway, so we went through the process and we understand what we're looking for in here. Starting to look for maybe now a pullback after reading this strong move in here. Well, that pullback came through nicely. In fact, it came back to this one here. This is another area for a pullback where this strong move began. Okay? It actually really truly began up here at 75, but it's this ledge in here where it broke and we got the other stop run in here as well at 74. So 75 and 74 are other areas you can look for potential pullbacks. Okay, that can be helpful for your trading. They start to understand those pullbacks in here. And as you guys can see, our move, actually measured move, has played out from this consolidation period all the way back down here. We're just chopping back and forth in here. And I really do not see clarity in this move in here. The only thing that I see clear in here is we're making lower lows and lower highs. It's just a little bit of market structure, but look at the volume within it. It's not clear. I don't see direction in here. We have another thing though. We do have a pretty a strong offer up here, but they're still kind of on the bid down here at 68. right? Starting to see buyers starting to come in these little pockets in here. Nice move here, and then starting to pick up again in here. Okay. All right, now they're starting to pull that liquidity. Okay, buyers, so you should be able to reach back up to the swing here, and then let's see if they can break it now. Okay, looking for these buyers to now get some momentum behind it, and then we're looking for the test up to 75, and then maybe even higher, where this move began. Okay, well, no, 75 is where it began. So we're just looking for a move to 75, based off of this momentum in here. Okay, so let's read it. So we do have stop runs in here, but it's pretty good, pretty strong, pretty consistent, right? We can go through our checklist again. Okay, starting to understand the momentum. Strong move, there's our move into 75, right? Just based off of understanding this context here. Now, it happened too quickly, but is the price movement large? Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, for this small range that we're looking at, yes. Okay, steep angle, yes, we have that. We had liquidity pulling on the offer. That was good. So we're looking for 74 first, or this swing, and then 75 next, and then maybe higher. Okay, and we're getting that. Going through this checklist in here should be helpful for you. This will keep you grounded. You're identifying these elements in here. If you don't get them, stay away. Okay, it's not. This is actually not a setup in here. This is more of just analysis and using the tool in here for Rob. That was the goal. And for all the times that he's in here, he's not in here today, which is just too bad. Steven, so you want to understand, like, this is helpful in here, but you still need to understand the context of the order flow. Just I would really recommend just staying with these in here. Just look at the context right now is this. All right, keep it simple, and just identify these things. Okay, the context in here of that liquidity being pulled was really nice for this to continue, and then there you can see them bidding up underneath here. But now watch this here, right? We might get here's the sellers coming in. It's not too strong, but it's not too bad either. Here's our retest. Hey, look at how we're going to get a pullback to this little area here, right? Now maybe buyers can take it here as well, but we're going to watch. We're just looking for the pullback here, and we're looking for more sellers in here. And this is again our pivot point here. Okay, I'm looking for sellers to try to trade through this area here at 73.5, right here. Okay, and then come back down into all of this previous range in here. Okay, so let's look at the relative volume in here. So we read this one here. It went up a lot higher than we thought. It went up, we said this swing was next, went above that, and it went up to actually where this structure kind of broke up here, right to it. Okay, so we're looking for going through some scenarios now that are we going to get sellers back down here? We're kind of just looking at this little small move in here by the sellers. Okay, can they upend these buyers and trap them and get below them here? That would be one scenario. Now, actually, that's it should be the second scenario. The first scenario should be the buyers, okay, because this is again pulling away from a range. Same ideas on a different time frame. Here's our range. Here's our buyers that have moved it away from it, and it's a good move too. It's like 4 points, almost 5. Okay, so these buyers remain in control. We're looking for them to either break below and they're out of control, or we're looking for the continuation. Yeah, not too much clarity yet here either at the moment. this little move in here is being overshadowed by this volume in here right now, right? So that's chop in here. Okay, but I'm starting to see some buying coming in. Yeah, short-lived. All right, so if this is chop in here, then sellers should be able to probably bring it right back down to here. The 70 kind of 3 3/4 swing. Right, so then what we're looking for up here, exhaustion and sellers. Also high liquidity on the offer. It's dark down here, that's great. So sellers can whip this down very, very easily down into this 74 liquidity and maybe 73.5. Okay, so we've gone through now understanding these strong moves, and you can see how that has developed into understanding even chop in the order flow and how that might start to unfold. You jump over to YouTube. How are things going? How can you get a discount? Well, there are no discounts at the moment. Thanks, Alois. Trading for a living, volume on ES&Q is quite low. What are your thoughts about this type of environment? Yeah, so again, it depends on the time frame, and you're talking about relative volume. What do you mean for the day? For what range? We need to get more specific about that, and then we can look for understand that context much better. Okay, seller. Let's see these sellers come right back down and retest this here. We kind of broke a small little trend in here, but not looking for much right now. It's just chop within this area here. Guys, this is something you'll note about these strong impulse moves all the time. Is the we want to understand what happens after it. Right? Will it turn into a continuation pattern, or does it define a new trading range for a bit? What are the stops? Well, you can go through the videos, Zhang, from that learning center. Okay, I can put this into the chat for you, and you can go through it. There you go. Let me jump back over to Discord. How's everything going? All right, Alan's helping out over there. Okay. Stephen, I would suggest, yeah, reach out to me and well, reach out in the new Discord channel that we put together for the Bookmap Academy. All right, let me show you where that is. This is where we had the meeting yesterday. We kind of recategorized some stuff up here. And we're still kind of in the process of doing some of that here. But here's Bookmap Academy here. And then we have this new, well, we have the announcement channel. We have the Academy applicants when you come in here and request your spreadsheet or have questions. We have a new chat room in here. This is the Bookmap Academy chat room that we just created yesterday. So you can see some people are already starting to use it, which is great. This is the proper place to have these conversations. We have a voice channel, and then we have the stage as well. All right, so request, I think maybe in the we might rename this one, but request in here, the Academy applicants room. All right. So this is like pre-beta as well, so it's very kind of raw. It's very, very simple and raw, but you know, you can get it, and you can add your own criteria in there as well. All right, let's jump back, look at our bigger picture, because it's been really choppy in here. What are we looking for in here? All right. Well, we kind of left off after, yeah, we had these two wicks in here, and then we saw buyers come in, and then we're like, well, where are those buyers going to take it? But we had, remember, we went through it, like we had two wicks down here, and then we saw sellers come back in, and it's like, at that point, if this is being tested several times, some of these wicks in here, it's the same idea that we're seeing in Bookmap at a bottom edge or a top edge of a range. And then what we want to see is that bottom of the range tested. And we got that here, actually. Sellers came in and they went through it. Now we're seeing the buying come back in again, bringing it back into the range up in here. Okay. Now that's where we want to read and understand, like, well, how strong is it? Maybe we just kind of curl right back again, come in here, and then trade and fill the gap down here. Okay, for today. Okay, we have not filled it yet. So that would be our 65 target. And then let's take a look and let's match that up with liquidity in here. Yeah, there's some down here at 65. A majority is still up here at 80. Sellers are up here at 80. Okay, interesting move. Still trending here. Buyers seem to want to go for this 80 again. Yeah, I thought we'd see that retest of here, like because we had the trend line break, right, and we saw selling coming in. I thought we'd get our test back down to 74, 73 and a half area, and we didn't. More buyers coming in, so yeah, looking for that. There's our. It's just about to say. I mean, this is again one of the things in the momentum moves that you can look for it happening when you start to see it, and you can kind of feel it, and then you're looking for the follow through and targeting that high liquidity. It's a lot harder to call in NASDAQ than it is the S&P, but that was kind of tough in the S&P as well. But if you're quick in here, you can look for those momentum moves, catch some small scalps for a few points here and there. And I think they're very high probability moves. You're not looking for much, but you're looking for it being highly probable. Okay, and then if it doesn't work out and it doesn't start to behave the way that you are looking for it to behave, get out. Didn't work. Look for the next one. Cut your loss immediately. Okay, consider that because if it doesn't work, and for example, you'd look for that momentum really to pick up here, right, and then up into here, which is not much of a point move, but that's all you're looking for in here. It's like a point and a half or so, But what we have as potential here is now sellers. This would be a false breakout again. Okay, we're above a range up here, high liquidity up here, stop run as well. All right, so is this going to be a new defining area in here of buyers and then continuation higher? Or are we going to see sellers, is going to be a false breakout and we see sellers down below 78.50? Okay, well, that's a big question. That's what we want to read and understand. All right, so high liquidity coming in at 81, a little bit of selling, not much to look at here. All right, let me get back to Discord. Yeah, so let's go through the questions in here. We've got some good stuff in here with just keeping it really simple and knowing exactly what we're looking for. Now we can start to add in some confluences as well. However, if like Stephen, you said that you want to get the context and understand that context. Well, then continue on just with this, right? Don't add other things into it. This was one thing that we talked about yesterday in the Academy meeting about adding other things into your chart. Okay, keep it simple. Know what you're doing. Keep it within your control. You don't want to add too much. Okay, you want to understand exactly what you're looking for, and then for it to either work or it doesn't. All right. So anyway, for those of you ready to move on from some of these impulse moves, then we can take a look at another confluence in here. Okay, we already went through stops as a confluence as well, stops and icebergs. Right, but we're going to go through market pulse in here as well. This is turning out to be a pretty interesting move. The buying is continuing. Let's take a look at our candlestick. Okay, so yeah, look, I mean, we have momentum in here. Here's momentum. So I would be looking for the buyers to trade up to here, 85. The swing is at 86.50. I would look for them to trade up here. They're already coming in. Okay, so here we go. Now, we're just looking for the move up into the swing first. Okay, and then that's catching the tail end of this 15-minute candle here. Again, for a quick scalp up into there. And now we want to see, these are pretty strong moves though, right? Same idea, strong moves. Now, is it on strong volume? Not really. All right, so I'm just looking for the move up into here based off of that. And that's it. Okay, I know that there's strong moves. That's good. That's good. So, are we going to get the continuation though? Well, I want strong volume to be behind them in here. Now we're missing it here in Bookmap. I'm just looking at these volume bars down here, and this is where I just think Bookmap can really help you, because these bars down here, it's not really helping us with the right here and the right now. Okay, and understanding like maybe there is really strong volume in here that wants to move away from this, but we can't see it. I'm looking at this volume bar down here, and this candle has another like 7 or 8 minutes to go until it closes. So I have no clue what's going on in here, right? So that's where this can help. Okay, and we are getting strong volume, and it is a really strong and consistent move here. Okay, this is what we're looking for to follow through. All right, so now this is it is doing that. This is a very strong move in here from 80 on up to 88. Okay, let's take a look at this strong move. Very consistent as well. And it traded up and targeted the high liquidity up here around 89 to 90, 88 to 90. All right, so I am looking for a pullback now. Okay, and then we went through these little nooks in here, like, or pauses in these strong moves. So we're looking for maybe a pullback to, could look at, there is a bit of a pause in here. It's already pulled back there. Okay, so the next pullback, not just to here, maybe it stays in a range here, right? So maybe this is the new range, and maybe this does turn into like a flag pattern. So we can look at that, but I would be looking for a move back to this one here, okay, 86. Okay, and then also where it began from here around 85. And 85 was something we were looking at previously. Okay, so I'm looking for a pullback now due to this strong move, and the market needs to take a break. Okay, we have high liquidity up here again. We know we already traded into high liquidity, and we do see a stop run into it as well. All right, another thing that we've got up here, this is the high of day. Okay, we're just breaking above it over here for the cash session. All right, well, I'm on pause here. What I'm actually looking for after this really strong move in here is I want to actually see some trapped volume below this 87.5 area. I want to see some sellers get involved, maybe down in this area here on the pullback. And then I'd be looking for maybe price to do something like this, a move down through, heavy volume in here, and then they move back up. Okay, and then this would be our trap in here, right? Because we know the buyers are in control, and we know there's strong volume. Now the relative volume in here, again, is relative in this move in here, this time frame, and that was your question, I know, in YouTube, trading for a living. How do you read that volume in here? Well, it depends on the time frame. Okay? Because when we're looking at this candlestick, I didn't know how strong that volume was, right? Until I looked at Bookmap, and then I could really understand it. So now I'm looking for a bit of a pullback. Okay, I have my reasons, and maybe this, yeah, 86 looks really good. It's the top of this little range, a bit of a pullback, and then we'll see if we can get a continuation. All right, and then we can get a continuation, maybe back up into 95 up in here. All right, so anyway, I'm not interested here buying at this point. Yeah, I'm looking for that pullback. I'm looking for a trap, and then I'm looking for buyers to squeeze them. Squeeze the sellers in here. Right, so if I miss it, I miss it. Okay, but that's what I'm looking for. All right, let me clear the drawings again. And let's take the beautiful stop run as well in here, 923, 287, 830, 39. So a lot of people getting it wrong. Okay, now see how we can understand, again, just from understanding these strong moves in here, we are not looking to buy up here. It's been a really strong, consistent move. We're looking for a pullback. We're looking for more fuel after the strong move. Where are we going to find it? Where are we going to get it? We're going to get it from the sellers. okay, or at least it'll spark that move higher. Okay, so did we get enough in here? Not for me, right? Maybe it is enough. Like, maybe you get tremendous amount of buying that comes in, right? It's not enough for me here. I mean, you could participate if that is enough for you. You could participate right in here, right? Same idea, same concept of here's your range, here's your small trap, here's your buyers. Well, it is working out, but you can just look for a move back up into maybe here or here, and then that's it, though. Okay, understood? Okay, this is a smaller time frame. The range is here, the trap is here, and that's not enough for me for a higher time frame move. And then we do see the buyers back up above here. Okay, now, just because of that, if this was a big green dot, that would be very different. It's not. So I would just look for, the other side of the ranges in here. Now it's come up higher. It's come up into this liquidity up here. Okay, so 90 as and above has transacted a bit. Okay, that's it. I'm actually still looking for sellers to try to drive it down here one more time. All right, we can go through the process yet again in here. What about this as a strong move on this time frame? Where would the pullback come? Where are these little pauses? Well, the pause is right around here. As you can see, kind of moved up, took a bit of a pause, then it moved up again. So I'd look for a pullback to here. Espareo, Hunter. It's not a trading room. Thank you, Alois. It's about understanding order flow and putting that into your trading. Not trying to hide behind anything. We have found, we even offered a bit of trading live trading before, and education was completely lost. Once the trade is on, everyone kind of jumps in and most likely is trading along with it. We say don't, and it's the trade can be in. We're looking for it in demo, just to avoid any sort of shadowing in trading along with us. And then once that happens, like going back and reading some of the order flow in here, understanding this context, which is going to be the most helpful for you, is going to be completely lost because you're going to be looking at the P&L. Okay, so if you want a live trading room, there are many Bookmap educators that offer it. JTrader, Scott Pulcini, several others, almost all of them. Here, let me even show you more. Okay, you can go to our Learning Center here, and Bookmap Learning Center is from the main page, or the More button here. Go to Learning Center. That'll take you here. Scroll down, and then all of these influences in here. I think almost all of them. Okay, one, two, one, two. I don't know if Algo Boys. I don't think maybe they do offer something. I know they have traders, but so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pirate Trader does live trading, but it's like a different kind of room. So we'll stay with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of these guys in here offer live trading. Okay, you can go to them, and you also have to pay for it, right? Yeah, sorry, RJ, and Crash. I'll get to Market Pulse in here. It's just was on a roll here, so I thought I'd continue on covering these things. Well, so you guys can see what happened. This was enough for these buyers to come in, right, and move it. It wasn't enough for me. I was looking for more, and then this sparked this move again. Now, okay, I've seen this many times over. Let me just take a look, and maybe I made a big mistake in here, and reflect off of this. Look at our little swing in here. Okay, there is a swing there. I wanted to see the move come back down into maybe some of the bigger little pauses in here. Okay, we didn't get it, right? So I missed it. Now there is one takeaway though on this, and it's an important one in understanding these strong impulse moves. Typically, the pullbacks are shallow in those strong moves. Why? Because there's just not enough sellers. They're not interested. The buyers are dominating. This is just a pause, maybe some profit taking, maybe some sellers come in, but there's not a whole lot of interest. The sellers remain away from the market. They'll sell at other areas. So they're shying away from strong moves. So once we get enough in here, or a bit of a pause or a break, and we get more buyers starting to come in and lift again, then we can look for that continuation of that move. Right, so that would be the one caveat, and I was looking for a bit more in here, and I missed it. All right, now how can I go about dealing with that? Okay, so again, using this tool in here for understanding the impulse moves, and reading through them and analyzing them and scoring them, then I can look for maybe a shallow pullback. And then how do I handle it though risk wise? Well, then if I'm looking for a shallow pullback, or I'm looking for a bit of more pullback on a really strong move in here, then I would look for maybe just lowering the or scaling into this, okay, lowering the size, scaling into it. Maybe one here, maybe another down here. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I would still be in that, but I would be in a much lesser of a position. Okay, these are just considerations. Again, there's many different ways to trade and manage the risk. Market Pulse, yes. All right, let's jump in. Let's put it on, guys. For those of you in the Bookmap Academy, you do get free access to this Market Pulse tool for the time being. Okay, we got support and resistance here for the ES. Let's add that one. All right, and then we got volume pressure as well. Let's add that one in here. I'm sorry, this is support and resistance in balance. We can add that one as well. Okay, so we got 3. Yeah, let's just keep it at that. Okay, so these two are really the same here, and then we got our volume pressure here. One shows you the sellers and buyers in here, that it is added and pulled liquidity, and there's 4 different outputs here. As I've described this several times the last week and a half or so. The dark red is in the negative number, so that means sellers are pulling from the offer. If it becomes bright red and a positive number, they are adding. And then buyers in here, same thing. If it's bright green, you see it's a positive number, they are adding on the bid. If it's dark green and negative, they are pulling. All right, so that's gives some really nice context in here. It's based off of a 5-minute look back period and a 10-second half-life period in here. So a constant 5-minute of, well, 4-minute, let's put it to 5. Or I'm sorry, no, that's correct. 5-minute here, and then the half-life period of the price interval. So every 4 ticks, the first 4 are the most important, the second are half as important. Okay, and so on and so on. All right, so we got that. And then the way to use this in the subchart here is really nice. So you can look at where are you getting signals? Where are you getting these readings in here? Now you can hear it over in YouTube when it crosses these little white lines in here, which is 70% threshold of that 5 minutes of data. So we're getting an imbalance here from the support and resistance imbalance. Okay, and we're not seeing it though here in support and resistance. Okay, so we're getting an imbalance here. There's more sellers on the offer right now, or more pulling on the bid at the same time. Okay, so it's kind of the both of these down here, but in just one output here. Okay, now it's flipping a little bit. All right, so anyway, let's take a look at that support and resistance imbalance here in the subchart. Okay, so we just saw the selling in here. Okay, that would be up in this area up in here. Right, so not much of a pullback, not much of a move there, even though we had it just kind of dip over that 70%. Oh, you're welcome, Arrow Hunter. How do I identify support and resistance using Bookmap? Well, just look at the liquidity. Support and resistance is, let's just kind of cover this and define it a little bit. Support and resistance is basically looking at, price structure and swings. Yeah, I mean, you can even extrapolate it to diagonal areas as well, but we'll just go with something like this, right? So here you have resistance up here you have support, right? But in Bookmap, which is really nice in here, is we have the heat map. We know supply and demand, not support and resistance. So there is some demand down here at this support level. Okay, but there's no there's no supply up here at this resistance level. Okay, in fact, they're down here now. There's more supply here, and we're seeing sellers react to it. So great. Okay, so sellers now were able to reach down to the demand here at 90. Okay, and they're still in here skewing that order book, which is funny. We're starting to. Okay, so now we're starting to see it. So this reading in here, we didn't get too much out of that one on this support and resistance imbalance. All right, now here's our potential trap right here again. Okay, and so because of this book imbalance in here, sellers traded down to here. And now we're going to look for this being a potential trap. Buyers are already back in here, looking for buyers again right here, right now. And I want to see these guys have to pull, or we have to find enough buyers that trade into them and through them, and we look for the move back up to not only the top of the range, but this supply up here. All right, buyers, here you go. There they go. All right, now hit it. Now lift it. Okay, that's great. They traded into this here. We want to see more. We want to see them get to the other side of this range and then try to get up into this high liquidity up here on the offer. Okay, no, can't do it. Sellers just come in and hit the bid hard. Still possible though, still possible. The trap is still possible here. Let's read the relative volume in here. Okay, so there's still more buying in here than there is selling. Sellers were able to move it down to the bottom of this range here, or this where it kind of failed here. So below that swing, this was a failed breakdown. Okay, now it's starting to break down. Okay, looks to me like this is the trap up in here. I just don't see too strong of selling yet to drive this lower here. All right, now, but if we do see that selling, we have some high liquidity here at 90. If we do see that selling in here, a move right away to 88, and that's our previous level here. But remember, we were looking at kind of this area down here around 86 or so, I believe, for you know, that more of that trapped volume after this really strong impulse move. How does the support and resistance work? And it's not going to be called, I think it's going to be called pull stack, which makes more sense. The pulling and stacking of liquidity in here. Again, this is in beta, right? But you guys sign up for that Bookmap Academy, you will get access to it. And start creating some content based on it, and get into some of these use case scenarios. Let me show you what I mean in here. We got some great stuff in here. This is what we went through yesterday in the Bookmap Academy meeting. Like Crash F16 is using his market pulse volume, pressure, and balance, and then also support and resistance and balance, which is the blue line in here. Getting a reading off of this, and then looking for the bottom to be confirmed in here. Okay, he gets it again with the volume, pressure, and balance. Okay, I imagine he's just looking for those buyers to come back in on the other side here. Okay, CVD's climbing back up. Yeah, and then you're looking for that support or resistance up here, that liquidity up here. Yeah, nice. Nice. All right, so he's using these two together here, or there's four of them really. But he's got the NASDAQ in here, and then he's got 3 for the S&P. Okay, basically the same 3 that we have up now as well. Slow down. You're working on your the flag pattern yourself. Okay, great. It's great. Slow down. Again, like, and I love it. This is really good content. Continue on. I don't want to dissuade you from it. You got your checklist up here and everything. This is fantastic. You got the diagram of what you're looking for, and then you've got your checklist in here. Fantastic. The thing is like as we discussed yesterday, like you know, you have your strategy and what you're looking for, and getting really good at that, which is your Wyckoff spring. Keep that as your separate kind of study and petri dish experiment. Don't taint it with anything else. This is a totally separate one in here. Now, I know that you know that. I'm kind of making a point here that to go through it and not get confused with other things. Keep that simplicity and that clarity, and just get really good at one of those things, and you're golden, basically. It's very RJ is very similar to the liquidity tracker. In fact, the market pulse pull stack is very similar to it. There is a difference. The difference is the settings. The settings are here. Is the half-life is very similar to it as well, but the training period, this is big. Okay, so it's only based on sliding 5 minutes of data. That's it. Okay, it's full depth of market, but this is also different in here. The half-life period for the price intervals. So the first 4 levels, which is, you can change, right? You can make it whatever you want. Make it 128. The first 128 are more important than the next 128 levels, whatever. I like the 4 so far, but I'm still playing around with this one to find the good setting for me. Another thought in here using this tool, and this is something for you guys to study. I've been playing around with it. I haven't really found something quite yet, but let's create 2 of these. In fact, let's close the imbalance one, and then we'll open up another market pulse tool here. In fact, I think we'll just create another one. All right, so this one here, I'll tune to support and resistance, and then press play. Okay, so I have now 2 support and resistance in here for the ES. But this new one here, I'm going to right click and go to the settings, and I'm going to make this one much deeper. So let's go with 128. I don't know. I'm just testing it, and let's see what that book looks like. Now I'll keep it at 5 minutes. And click apply. So now, and for you guys that trade the DOM, for example, this is something to look at. So we're looking at 2 imbalances in here. One, higher time frame, or much more depth, I should say, and another one for the inside market. Right? So I would imagine that I want to see when both of these align. I'm looking for the higher or more depth market here to give me insight to an order book imbalance, and I'm looking for that to align also with the shorter term. Okay, so again, like if you're looking at your let me just go through an example. I'll bring up our Dome Pro. Okay, here's our Dome Pro tool. If you guys, this is part of Bookmap Global Plus. If you want, this is a very professional level dome, and a very high performance dome as well. Right, there's all sorts of columns and etc. in here, but the point is this: what we're looking at in here is you're looking for an imbalance in supply and demand in here, in your order book, and then we're looking for maybe the inside market, which would be up to here and here basically. So there's quite a few areas in here for this to kind of move around in, but we can look at the longer term order book, and then looking for big changes in that in here. Now I've limited the depth in here, but I can add it back in. I won't at the moment, but basically looking for where I might, like down here, see that, look at this on the bid. Okay, so now I should have 2 together here. I've got a pretty strong bid in the dome in here. Do I have it also in these 2 market pulse tools? Okay, the bid a little bit stronger here, a little bit stronger here, and they're both pulling. Okay, great. All right, so I'm looking now for aggressive buyers up here. Now this is the top of a small range. I'm still looking for them. I don't really care. I've got the book imbalances that I'm looking for. Now I'm just looking for the aggressors. Okay, so let's look for our market pulse. Let's listen. Let's look for our green dots up here. And we're not getting it. All right, that was the opportunity that we're looking for in the dome, and also in the market pulse tool on the higher time frame and lower time frame. Okay, we didn't get it here at all. All right, let's see if we get it again though. Now after this move here and this follow through to our 86 level, right? Now that 86 level should ring a bell. Okay, that was here. That was what we're looking for here. Okay, this little area in here, 86, right? So now we're there. All right, great. So that could be our pullback here. Let's take a look now. Okay, do we get a strong bid? Okay, it's going to be a stop run in here for sure, and it is 191. Okay, all right. So now, how's our bid doing? Okay, well, they're still bidding up in here. Okay, so I'm still looking for. Let's see if we can get it. Our big green dot in here. Okay, first stop would be back up in here for a pullback, actually. Okay, and then if we can get back up into the range, other side of the range, they're very, very quick. Hard to catch that, right? We can still look for the next one though, and that would be up here, our big green dot up here. Okay, and then a push right up to 89-ish, 90, and then maybe continuation. Okay, let's see, there they are. Let's see, how's our book look? Yep, still see the skew. Look at our market pulse tools in here, looking for our green dots to pull this up to 89 and 90. How's that, guys? How's that for like another scenario? Now, you can see like this tool is almost endless in here, right? These use case scenarios in here. The flexibility of this tool is amazing with Market Pulse. So try it out. Heck, it's free right now. So go try it out. See if you can find an edge. Crash F16's totally taken advantage of this and has created all sorts of great content in here documenting these. And he's using it. He's trading with it. So go for it. This is exactly what we're looking for. Find these use case scenarios and use this tool to your advantage. Find your edge. Define your edge before others do. Right? You don't want to look at like RSI and MACD like every other trader has been for the last 30 years or so. Look at something new. Find an edge. It's going to constantly be shifting and changing. All right, guys. So let's just kind of recap in here. Rob, this was for you actually. We started off, and I put together this. You were gone, so you can watch the recording. But an impulse move, and we started talking about impulse moves in detail, just impulse moves. Okay, and that really unfolded nicely into looking now for pullbacks, where price might go, looking for that consistency. If we're looking for if it's inconsistent, we get it's not consistent volume in here. We're looking for maybe chop within that strong move for a while, right? But identifying these pieces in here in the strong move and then grading them in here can start to give you insight to what you think might happen next, right? So I would encourage you to not only use this tool and analyze these impulse moves in more detail, just impulse moves, and then document that, okay, for your spreadsheets in the academy, and watch the recording. Okay, we went through it in detail in the recording. All right. So thanks everybody. Thanks for coming. And we will catch up with you on Monday. All right. All right. Good trading, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.